Hi everyone, my name is Nick and welcome to Get Your Play Online. Today for Sunday Funday, we will be making a Worry Monster box. This is what it looks like, and here is what you will need to follow along with me today. Obviously, because I forgot to take them off, you will need a pair of scissors. You will also need glue. You can use this liquid squeezable glue like I have, or you can use a glue stick. You will also need a plain shoebox. It doesn't matter what color it is. You can choose the color. You'll just need an empty shoebox. You will also need construction paper. Here I have many different colors, but you can go ahead and choose whatever color that you want your box to be for the construction paper. And then you will also need various decorating supplies to decorate your Worry Monster box. So here I have some white pom-poms or puff balls. I also have some red ones as well. And then I've got some pipe cleaners, I've got black ones, and I've got white ones. I have different size googly eyes. There's big ones, there's little ones, there's medium ones. I also have some foam letters that you can peel and stick onto your box. I gave my box a name. His name or her name is Freddie. So you can go ahead and choose a name if you want, or you can put your name on your box, whichever you'd like. I also have some stick-on gems. If you want to give your box some gems, you can do that as well. And I also have some glitter glue pens. Of course, you can use stickers, you can use markers, colored pencils, crayons, any kind of decorating supplies that you want to use. So, before we get started, make sure that you have gathered all of your supplies that you'll need and all the decorations that you want to put onto your Worry Monster box. And then what you want to do first is go ahead and open up your shoebox and make sure there's nothing in it. So as you see, I have in my shoebox some tissue paper from when the shoes were in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take that out and set that to the side. We don't want anything to be in our box. We want it to be completely empty like this. After that, it's time to cover our box in construction paper. So what you want to do is go ahead and grab your construction paper. You can choose any color that you want. I think I am going to do purple. So I am going to take out all of the purple construction paper that is in my stack. You can also, instead of construction paper, if you don't want to cover it in construction paper, you can also use paint if you want to go ahead and paint your box. That is another option that you can do. This is your Worry Monster box, so you can decorate it, you can paint it, you can put construction paper on it. You can really do whatever you want to do with it. But I am going to be putting construction paper on mine. I think that's all the purple. You'll probably need about 5 to 6 sheets of paper to be able to cover the whole box in it. So, here's our last one. Okay. So now I'm just going to take the rest of my construction paper that I am not using, and I'm just going to put it to the side since we're not using it. Okay. So we've got our purple construction paper. Now what we are going to do is we are first going to cover the top of our box. So you're going to want to grab your glue that you've got, whether it's a glue stick or it's the liquid glue that I have here. And you're going to take a piece of your construction paper, and what you want to do is just go ahead and put glue all around the sides of it. You can just spread it out, make sure that there's enough glue on it so that it sticks to the box nice and well. All right. Okay. But you don't want to put too much glue because then it could get messy and it could go places that we don't want it to go. So, after you've got your glue on your paper, you're going to take your box, and like I said, you're going to do it on the top of the box. You're going to place it right on the box, like this. And then you're just going to run your hands over it and press down so that the glue sticks to the box. And if you see that it's not sticking the greatest to the box, you can always take your glue and peel up just a little piece of the paper and put a little more glue. That way it really sticks on there. All right. So as we can see, we have a little bit of the paper hanging off the edge of the top of our box. So what I'm gonna do is just fold that over and glue that down as well. Just like that. Now we can see that we still have a little bit of the orange left here. So what you can do is you can take another piece of your construction paper, and we want it to go long ways. We want it to go horizontal, not tall. We want it to go the long way. And we are just going to take our scissors. If you need help cutting, please ask your parent or a brother or sister to help you go ahead and cut. And you just want to cut a piece of your paper that you will be able to stick right on there so it covers up the orange. Like I said, since we are using scissors, please make sure that you have a parent or a brother or sister around if you need help, because we don't want anyone to get hurt with these scissors. So then what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing that you did with your big piece of purple construction paper, and you're just going to put some glue on it all around the edges. And then where our orange is still showing, we are going to place that piece of construction paper right over it so it covers up that orange. And it's okay if our papers overlap. That's okay because it's all the same color. So like before, you just press down and make sure that it's nice and glued to the cardboard box. And then, like before, we have a little bit hanging over the edge, so we're just gonna fold that down and make sure it sticks nice and well. All right, the top of our box is all covered in our purple construction paper. So now what you're gonna do is you are going to take your cardboard box and flip it upside down so that the purple is on the bottom. And now we are going to put construction paper on the bottom of our shoebox. So we're gonna do the same thing that we did with the top of our shoebox and take our piece of purple construction paper, and we're going to put glue all on the edges. All right. Sometimes the glue is hard to get out of the bottle. So if you need help, make sure you ask for some help from a parent or a friend or a brother or sister. All right. So now that we've got our glue all on the edges and sides of our construction paper, we are going to do the same thing that we did with the top and just place it right on our box. And then use our hands and smooth it out so that the glue sticks right to the cardboard. All right, and then we've got some hanging over the side, so you can go ahead and flip that over and press down. That way it covers up the other side as well. Okay. So, on our bottom of our box, we still have some orange left like we did on the top of our box. So, we are going to do the same thing that we did with the front. We're going to take our construction paper, and we are going to have it long ways again. And what I like to do is I like to take my box and take my paper and line it up on the edge, and then see how much paper I need, and then go ahead and cut that size paper. Okay, so, all right. Now we're going to take our piece of paper and we're going to put glue on it like we did with the other side as well. Our Worry Monster box is here to help us with our worries and our fears that we have about anything that starts to feel heavy or that we can't stop thinking about or that we're nervous about. Our Worry Monster box is there to help us cope with those things and think about those things and think about what's making us worried about that situation. Our Worry Monster box is really good at listening, and so we can come to our worry box when we are feeling worried about certain things, and as you'll see later, feed our Worry Monster box our worries, and it's really good at listening, and it'll help us kind of work through those worries. So we're going to take our piece of purple paper, and we're going to put it right down on the box and cover up the rest of that orange space that we had on our shoe box. And then, like always, use our hand or our finger and spread the glue out, making sure that it sticks nice and well. And then we're going to fold it over. All right, so now we've got the top of our box and the bottom of our box all covered up. So what we are going to do now is we are going to move on to the back side of our box and the front side of our box right here. We're going to do the back side first. What I like to do and what is going to make it easier is you are going to take your box and put it, not so that it's flat, but put it up on its side right here and stand it up so it's easier to put the paper on. We're going to take our purple or green or yellow or blue, whatever color construction paper that you have chosen. I chose one of my favorite colors, which is purple. So you can choose whatever your favorite color is, whatever color you like most that day, whatever color you want your Worry Monster box to be. And we are going to, since some of our orange space is already covered up, we are going to take our paper and where our purple paper already is, I am going to line it up so that it doesn't overlap or anything, that it's right up next to it so it covers up the orange. And then what you can do is you can fold your piece of paper over and kind of fold it on that crease of the box. That way, when you take your piece of paper off, you know where you need to cut your piece of paper out from. So you can cut right down that straight line that you've been working on. Okay, we put the rest of the paper and the scissors back down. And then we're gonna take that piece of paper that we cut, we're gonna put it right in our box, and then we're gonna put the glue on it. What I like to do with the glue is I like to squeeze the bottle and then run the glue across the paper. But if you're using a glue stick, you can also just rub it all around, or you can put little dots in the corner with your liquid glue. That works as well. Whatever you want to do. And then we're going to take our piece of paper and we are going to stick it right to our box where we measured it for. And then we are going to rub with our hands. That way we make sure that it sticks to that shoebox and it's not going to come off. All right, so we still have a little square left that we need to cover up. So you can grab your purple paper and you can, again, do what we just did. You can line it up with the other paper. That way you know exactly how much paper you'll need. You can go ahead and fold it over and make that crease again. That way you'll know where you want to cut it. But we're also going to crease it on another side. So once you do that long crease, you're going to take your piece of paper again and put it right back where it was, and then you're going to crease it on the shorter side as well. That way it's not too long. Okay, just press down, and then you can cut the rest of it off. You can also use scissors that have the fun shapes and will cut the fun designs in your paper. I'm just using regular scissors. But you can, of course, use the fun scissors that make the cool designs as well. So then you're just going to take the rest of your paper and use your glue and glue all around the sides like we've been doing. And then you can stick your piece of paper right on there. And use your finger or your hand to smooth out the edges. All right, so now we've got the top of our box all covered, we've got the bottom of our box covered, and we've got the back side of our box covered. So now we're gonna move on to the front side of our box. For this, you are going to want to open the lid. That way we can get all of that is covered by the lid when you close it. So you want to open up your lid, and then you want to take your paper and like before, we can go ahead and set it on there, and then we can make that crease again, just like that. So that we know where to cut. If you want, you don't have to cut it off. You can put glue on all of it and just fold this over as well. But I'm gonna cut mine off. Okay. All right. So then, what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your glue and you're gonna glue the sides like we have been. Michelle is going to make her Worry Monster box green. Green is also one of my favorite colors. I made a Worry Monster box a few days ago that was green. I really like the color green too, Michelle. So then we are going to take our paper and put it right where we want it. And like before, we're going to use our fingers and our hands to go along the edges and smooth out the glue and the paper. Why is your favorite color green, Michelle? Do you have, or is green your favorite color, or is that just the color that you would make your Worry Monster box? Okay, so we've got a little bit left of orange right here. So we'll just need a little piece of paper to cover that up. So I'm going to take my paper and my scissors and just cut a little strip off. And then I'm going to take my glue again and put glue all around the sides. And then place our paper right down. Hi, Nikki. We are making a Worry Monster box that can help us calm our nerves and ease our worries when we're feeling nervous about something, or when something is getting too heavy in our feelings, or we're thinking about something. This will help us think about those worries and help us kind of move through those worries. So once we've done that, you can see our front of our box is all covered. My Worry Monster box will be green because green reminds me of nature. It can remind me to be positive even when I have worries. That is a great, great reason to do green. I think I chose purple because purple to me reminds me of calm and taking a deep breath and being calm, which I think can also help when I'm having worries. It can remind me that it's okay and that I need to take a few deep breaths and write down my worry, and that in the end it will all be okay, and that my Worry Monster box is here to help me. I really like that, Michelle. So now all we have left to cover is our sides of our box and this one last strip right here. So we are going to do the sides of our box first. You're going to want to open your box again because we want to cover all of it, because when it's closed, we'll miss some of it. So we want to open up our box again and take our paper, and I'm going to put it on its side. That way the side that I'm going to be putting my paper is up, so it's easier for me to put the paper on it. So I am going to, we can measure out our paper, or you can also, I think I'm going to fold this one over. Well, I think I'm going to cut it. So we're going to do our crease right on the edge, and then we're going to use our scissors very carefully and cut our paper. And then we're going to take our glue and our paper and glue the sides. Okay. And then we're going to take our paper and put it right on our box, and then use our fingers and our hands to press down to make sure that it's sticking to the box. So I folded mine over on the back instead of cutting it just to make it a little bit easier. And it's not sticking the greatest, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my glue and I am just going to put a little more glue right on the inside of it. That way I can have a little more to stick onto. And then I'm going to fold it over and use my finger to make sure it's nice and glued down. Perfect. So now we've got this right here. So what we are going to do, we have these little pieces of paper left. So instead of cutting a new big piece of paper, what you want to do, instead of using a big one, we're just gonna use our little ones first. So I've got this little piece of paper that will work perfectly. And I also have these left, which will also work. So I'm going to line it up and then fold it over. That way I can make that crease so I know where to cut. I'm not gonna fold mine over and glue it because we do have a hole right here. And if we were to fold it over, it might get stuck on this paper as well because of the glue, and then we wouldn't be able to open up our box. So I am gonna cut it. And I've made my crease. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut on that straight line. And then make sure this is the right piece. And then I'm gonna take my glue. And glue our sides. All right. And then I'm gonna line it up on my box and place it down. And then I'm going to use my fingers and my hands to go ahead and smooth that out. All right, so we've got this piece of paper left, and this will be the perfect size to cover up the rest of our box. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure it, and then I'm going to fold it over so that way we can cut it again. All right, I'm gonna put my glue on. And I am going to place it right on it. And then I'm going to use my hands and my fingers to make sure that it is all glued down. All right. So now, the side of our box is all covered. And it might not look perfect, it might not match up perfectly, but that's okay. This is your box, and everyone's box is gonna look a little bit different. And that's okay if it doesn't line up perfectly, that's okay. So now, we've got this side to do. So I'm gonna open up my box, and I am going to, this time I'm gonna have to use a new piece of paper, just because the pieces that I have left are too little to cover. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and place my paper on top. And then make my crease. And again, this is a place where I am going to fold mine over and cut it just because we have two sides that we're working with. We got this side and we have this side, so it will be kind of difficult to fold it over and glue it just because the paper wouldn't line up perfectly. So I creased my paper, and then I'm going to take my scissors and carefully cut. Okay. And then I'm going to take my glue and glue the sides. All right. And then I'm going to take my box and my paper and line it up. All right. So, since we only have one side of the paper left, we can go ahead and fold this part over. Make sure it's nice and stuck. Right, so some of my side right here isn't sticking really well, so like before, we're going to take our glue and just give it a little extra, not too much, and go ahead and glue that down. All right. Use our fingers and our hands to make sure that our paper is sticking. And there we go. Our other side is all covered except for this part right here, which we will move on to. So we got our piece of paper here. And what I'm going to do, just to make it a little bit easier, you don't have to measure anything, I'm just going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to take my piece of paper and lay it down. And then I'm going to fold it over and make that crease that we've been working on. And then I'm going to use my scissors. And then I'm going to take a piece of paper and my glue, and I am just going to put some glue all around the edges. And then I'm going to take my piece of paper and stick it right on. And then press and make sure that it's nice and stuck on there. So I've got, if you look right there, I've got that little piece right here hanging off. So what you can do is just rip that little piece of paper off. That way your box can fold nice and easy. So we've got our side all covered. And it's okay if some of the orange on the top peeks out a little bit right there. That's okay. Of course, it's an orange box. We're going to see some of the orange. It gives it some fun color. So then our last place that we have to put construction paper, because all the rest of it is covered up. Our top, our bottom. We just need to, this is the front of our box. We just need to go ahead and put paper right here to cover up this orange. So what I will do is I'm just going to take this piece of paper that I have left and I'm going to cut it in half. You can also rip it in half if you don't want to use the scissors. That will work just as well. And then, I'm not going to cut my paper. I'm not going to crease it. Since it's just going onto the top of our box, I'm just going to fold it over. So I'm going to take my piece of paper, and I'm going to put some glue. And then I am going to place my paper down. And use our fingers and our hands to spread it out and make sure that it sticks. And then you can fold this over just like that. And press and use our fingers. That way we make sure that it's sticking. And then when I cut this piece of paper in half, I still have one piece left from it. So I'm going to use that to put on the other side. I am going to cut this one just because we are dealing with both sides of the box. It'll be a little difficult to glue it down and make sure that it stays down. So I'm going to first crease the top of my paper and give that a cut. And then I am going to take my paper and put it back down and fold it over the other side so I can cut that other extra off. And then you've got your perfect piece of paper. I'm going to take my glue, put it down, take our box and put it right down, and then use my finger to make sure that the glue is nice and secure on there. All right. And now our whole Worry Monster box is covered in our construction paper. What color did you use? Like I said, I used purple because it's one of my favorite colors, but I want to know what color you used. So after we are done with that, covering our whole worry box in our construction paper, we can take any scraps of paper that we have and we can go ahead and put those off to the side. Now comes the really, really fun part, and where you get to make your worry box whatever you want it to be. So now we get to decorate. Decorating is one of my favorite things. You can really make something your own. And like we saw in the beginning of this video, on my other worry box, this is my monster. Of course, we want it to look like a monster since it is a worry monster box. So I did some googly eyes for the monster's eyes, and then he's got a big red nose, just like Rudolph. And then he's got his teeth down here that he eats with. Because if you open them, he can eat just like that. And then I put some gems right here, and then I put his name. I named him Freddy. So, you can really make your Worry Monster box however you want. You can decorate it with whatever you want. I think I am going to grab, I think I'm gonna take my googly eyes first because I really like how I did the googly eyes first. Of course, we want our monster to have eyes. So I'm gonna take a couple of the big ones. And then I'm gonna take a couple of the smaller ones as well. All right. So I am going to take my googly eyes and put them on the side of my box. That way I can grab them if I want one. I'm gonna take the big one first, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue right on the back part. Just, oh, gotta open it. Just squeeze a little bit of glue. And I am going to put it, here's the top of our box. I am going to put it right in the middle. And then just press down and hold it there for a few seconds. That way the glue has time to stick to the paper. I think I'm gonna do another big one and put it right next to it. And then one more big one. I'm gonna do 3 big ones total. And then I'm gonna use my hand and I'm just gonna fan them a little bit. That way the glue sticks to the paper just a little bit better. And there we go. There are my big eyes on my worry monster. You can give them a little shake and they rattle a little bit. So now I am going to use some of my, you can see I've got the big ones and then I've got this medium-sized one. And I've got a really, really tiny one. So I'm gonna use some of my middle-sized ones. And same thing. I am going to just put a little bit of glue on the back, not a whole lot. Where do I want to put this one? I think I'm gonna put it right in between 2 of the big ones. And then I'm gonna take another middle-sized one and put it in between the other 2 big ones. Just like that. And then I'm going to take one of my really, really tiny ones. Now I'm gonna put it right in the middle of the 2 middle ones. Just put a little bit of glue on the back. I'm gonna stick it right onto it. All right. And there we go. Those are my monster's eyes. Okay. So now, I think I am going to take my gems and I'm gonna take one off and put it up in the corner of my box. So I'm going to come right up here and put it right in the corner. And I'm gonna do that to all 4 of the corners. So I'm gonna take mine off. You can use whatever kind of decorating supplies that you want. You could draw a picture on the top of your worry box. You could take stickers and put your favorite kind of stickers all over your worry box. You can take crayons or colored pencils and make designs on your box. You can make it however you want. Okay, so then I think I am going to take my white puff balls here. I'm gonna open them up. And I'm gonna give my monster some teeth for his mouth because he's gonna eat our worries up. So I'm just gonna take some of my puff balls and just dump some out onto the table. I am going to use 10 of these little white puff balls. And I'm going to put them at the same place as I did on my other one, right here. That way when you open the box, its teeth are right on here. I'm gonna put them down low so it looks like when you close it, it looks like he's eating it. So, I'm gonna take my box and put it upwards. And then I'm gonna take one of my little white puff balls and a little bit of glue and put a little dab of glue on it. And then I'm gonna stick it right to the end of my box, like that. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing for all 10 of them. That way, it looks like our monster has teeth. All right. Now I'm also going to give my monster a name. I don't know what I'm gonna name it yet. What are you gonna name your box? I named my other box Freddy. Maybe I will name this box. I don't know. So I'm just gonna continue putting a little bit of glue on the little white puff ball, and you can use red, white, yellow, whatever color puff ball you want. And just keep sticking them on there. Last one. All right. So then when you're all done, now it looks like teeth. When you open it and close it, it looks like it's chomping up those worries. I am also going to take my white puff balls, and while my box is closed, I am going to put another row on this part of the box, right under this row. So that way it has 2 rows of teeth, just like we do. So I'm gonna take 10 of my little white puff balls again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm gonna do the same thing that I just did, but on the bottom row. Okay. And I think I've come up with a name for my Worry Monster box. I think I am going to name my box Tom. What are you going to name your box? I've got lots of Worry Monster boxes, because they really do help when you are feeling worried about something. You can either write down that worry on a piece of paper, or you can draw what you're feeling on a piece of paper, and you can feed it to your box. And like I said, our boxes are really good at listening, and so they will help us to understand that worry and help us overcome that worry that we have. So here's what the teeth look like. So then when we open it and shut it, it looks like it's eating. Okay. Oops, one of them came off. If it does come off, you can just put a little more glue right where it was and stick it right back down. Okay. So now, I think I'm gonna make my Worry Monster box a nose. So I am going to take my black pipe cleaner It's in one long line right now, and I am just going to, I'm going to take the end of it, and I'm going to fold it in, and then I'm going to hold that end, and take my other hand and wrap it around in a circle motion. Just like that. So that way, it makes a spiral. And that's gonna be my Worry Monster Box's nose. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you know where you want your nose to go. And then, oops, one of my teeth fell off. And then you're gonna take your glue and you're gonna put your glue right onto your box where you want your nose to go. You just wanna put it in a circle. That way you can take your nose and just stick it right to it. You can press down on it to make sure it gets in there and that it's not going to come off. And now it has a nose. So now that my Worry Monster box has a nose, I think it's time that I give my Worry Monster box a name. So, like I said earlier, I have these little foam letters that are stickers. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump these out. And I am going to name my Worry Monster box Tom. And if you need help spelling, which is okay, you can ask your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister for help spelling. But to spell Tom, I need a T, an O, and an M. Now I think I'm going to use, I have a purple M and a blue M. And I think I am going to use the blue M because my box is purple and I don't want my letter, and I have a yellow M as well. So I think I'm gonna use the yellow M. That way it stands out and all three of my letters will be a different color. So you can take your letter and peel off that little white part on the back. And then you can choose wherever you want to put it. I'm gonna put mine right up here. I put mine right up there in the corner. And then our O, I'm just gonna pop the center out of it. That way it makes the O. And I'm gonna take that white little piece off again. And I'm gonna put it right beside it. And then I'm gonna take my M and peel off the little white part. I'm gonna stick my M on there as well. All right, and then my box has a name, Tom. What'd you name your box? Okay. So I think that's all I want to decorate my box with. Of course, if you want to decorate your box with more, you can put stickers on it, you can color it, you can put whatever you want on it, but I think I like mine the way that it is right now. I've got my monster's eyes, I've got my monster's nose, and I've got my monster's teeth to eat up our worries. I've also got those little rhinestones right in the corner, and I give my box a name. So now our Worry Monster box is here, like I said, to help us with any worries that we are feeling. Anything that feels heavy to us or anything that makes us scared or nervous, that's where our Worry Monster box can help us. So you're gonna take a piece of your construction paper. It can be any color you want, doesn't have to be the same color that you used before. I think I'm gonna use green. Michelle said that she would make her worry monster box green because green reminds her of nature and it reminds her to be positive even when she's having worries. So I think I'm going to use green. And what you're going to do is you're just going to take your scissors again, or what you can also do is just rip your paper right in half. So we have this, and then you can rip that piece in half too. And now you've got 2 pieces of paper. So then, after you've got your 2 pieces of paper, you can take either a pen or a pencil, or a marker or a crayon or a colored pencil, and you can either write what you're worrying about, what your worry is, or you can draw it. So I'm gonna write one of my worries down right now. And one of my worries is that I am worried about getting a shot. So, I don't really like shots, and shots make me nervous and they make me a little bit worried. So, I wrote down on my piece of paper, I am worried about getting a shot. And then you can fold it up. And you can come to your worry box. You can come to your worry box, open it up, put it right inside, and then have your oops, one of his teeth fell off. So I'm just gonna take my glue again and give it a little more glue. Okay. And then once you've put your worry in there, you can make your monster eat up your worry. Just like that. Now, I'm also a little bit worried about going to the dentist. The dentist keeps our teeth healthy and keeps our teeth clean, so it's very important that we go to the dentist, but it makes me a little bit nervous. So I'm going to draw my worry this time, and I am going to draw me. I'm gonna have eyes and a nose and a sad face because I'm just a little bit worried about going to the dentist. And then I'm gonna draw a square on my paper. And then I have my square. And then I'm gonna draw a triangle on top of my square. So I'm just gonna go up and up. So it looks like that. All I did was make my square with my 4 lines, and then I drew 1 line up and another line up, and they met right in the middle. And so I am going to then put a door on this building and a little doorknob. And I just went up, over, and then down, and then put a little dot for a doorknob. And then I'm going to draw 2 more squares inside of my big square. So 1 right here and 1 right here. And those are going to be windows. So I am then going to write the word dentist, or what you can do is draw teeth. So you can just draw a few teeth. Like that. Those are teeth. Or you can write dentist, and if you need help spelling or writing, your mom or your brother or sister or a friend can always write the word dentist for you. But I wrote the word dentist. And then, like before, I'm going to fold my worry up, take my box, open it up, put it inside, and then have my worry monster eat up my worry. Just like that. So now that our worry monster box has been fed our worries, once we go to the dentist or get that shot, or we aren't worried about that certain thing anymore, what we can do is come back to our box, and if you want, you can open up your box, take out your worry, close it back up, and once you've conquered that worry, you can rip it up into little pieces, and you can throw it in the trash can. So that's our Worry Monster box. I hope everybody had a really good time. Here's my worry box that I made. Again, you can decorate it however you want. You can use whatever kind of paper you want, whatever kind of decorative supplies that you want. This is your worry box. You can make it however you want. You can paint it, you can color it, you can do it however you want. Thank you so much for playing with me today. I had fun making my Worry Monster box. Don't forget to join us later today for Sunday Funday with Michelle. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Say bye, Tom. Bye.